What's up, Bikes Online crew? I'm Wendy and I'm back here with another challenge for y'all. But this time the challenge is a little bit different. I'm not battling against a group of fellow riders or even battling against myself. This week I'm battling against my bike, or more specifically, its battery. The N8E is Polygon's full power 160mm Enduro E mountain bike featuring the Shimano EP801 motor and a 630 watt-hour battery. And today I've come to some of Central Oregon's steepest climbs and rowdiest descents to see who will run out of energy first, me or the N8E. So without further ado, let's power this bad boy up and get on the trail. I chose to do my range test at the Horse Ridge Trail System just outside of Bend, Oregon. The terrain here is classic desert riding, sandy and rocky. But more importantly, Class 1 e-bikes like the N8E are allowed on all 30 miles of the single track here. I'll get into more of this later, but one of the things I love most about e-mountain bikes is that they let you explore new places you might not otherwise get to on a non-motorized bike.
It's a cool section. I can honestly say I haven't been here. Oh my gosh, honey, this is so cool. I've never been on this. I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be that cool on just like a normal bike. You'd be like, all right, get me back on the trail. On an e-bike, it's like, why don't we just turn on dirt bike mode, adventure mode, rip around on here.
Even though that old stretch of abandoned highway wasn't more than 2 or 3 miles from the trailhead, I'd never taken the time to check it out on my previous trips here with my analog bike. But the added assistance from the motor makes me less worried about conserving my own energy and much more eager to get off the beaten path and explore. I've also found having a motor helpful when trying to log extra downhill practice time leading up to a downhill or enduro race. It's like having your own chairlift. And speaking of motors, the N8E features the brand new Shimano EP801 motor. It's even quieter than the previous generation EP8 and still pumps out up to 85 Newton meters of torque in boost mode. And speaking of power modes, I stayed primarily in the middle setting called trail mode for this test, only shifting into boost for the steepest climbs. Another cool feature on this new motor is the ability to use the Shimano eTube app to customize the amount of assistance it gives. I found that this helps make the bike feel that much more intuitive to ride, even through technical terrain. Lastly, I was continually impressed by how well the Shimano XT drivetrain shifted, even with the extra torque coming from the motor. But even with a motor, the descents are still my favorite part.
Yeah! Ah! My back tire is wheeling out. Woo!
Like I mentioned earlier, these trails are super rocky and sandy this time of year. When I first started riding the N8E, I was nervous to take it through this kind of terrain. I was nervous that a big e-bike would feel awkward or even dangerous. But once again, the N8E proved me wrong. It just eats this stuff up. And I think the biggest reason for this is that Polygon designed both the analog and electric versions of the Collosus to be race ready straight out of the box. That's why this N8E is spec'd with a super burly 160mm Fox 38 performance fork and 160mm Fox Float X2 shock. These two, combined with Polygon's legendary 6-bar IFS linkage design, makes the Collosus one of the most fun and confident descending bikes I've ridden on steep, chunky terrain. Ripping down steep terrain on an e-bike is extra demanding on the wheels and brakes. Thankfully, the N8E is spec'd with stiff 32-spoke wheels and 4-piston Shimano XT brakes, fitted to 203mm rotors to slow things back down. So got about half of the battery depleted so far, and it's been technical terrain. I feel like I've been just riding up and down and around, and a lot of rocky, a lot of dusty, a lot of steep climbs and steep descents, and like just got to halfway. So I'm feeling tired. I do not know if I'm gonna be able to deplete this thing, but we're gonna try.
It's a cool downhill section. Oh, no name horse. Let's see how I can do it. All right.
Even though I was starting to get tired, I really wanted to finish this test out and see just how far the N8E could take me. But the N8E had other ideas. I don't know if it was just that I was monitoring the battery so closely, but it didn't seem to wear out at all over the next few laps. Another thing working against me was the sun. I needed to get in as many laps as possible and wear this battery down as fast as I could. So as you can see, the sun is setting. What is not setting is my battery. I've been riding for close to 5 hours, a little over 30 miles, and we're still at 25% on this battery. So this bike is definitely ripping. It's ready to keep going. I am definitely feeling the fatigue, especially just on some of this terrain out here. It has been rocky and sandy and loose. The bike has handled it like a champ, but I'm ready to call it a night. If you have any questions about the N8E and what it can do, how it feels, please drop them in the comments. I'd love to make some more content on this bike. It was so much fun getting out here and riding. And while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button to Bikes Online, where I'll be hanging out. And then get on your bike, get out on the trails, and get ripping.